playoffs happened and they beat Runaway with Kaiser, of course, and the rest of the team, that this has been their go-to now.
Yeah, Villainy didn't show up for Pack Showdown either. It was just Kaiser, so they had no plans on subbing in any other main tank, and as it seems this season, that remains to be true. What I'm really interested in is MCD playing over Undyne, so that's probably the one big roster change for Element Mystic that is pretty noteworthy.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I had to double check rosters, but look, on the high ground, Element Mystic 3-2-1 with that Sombra, but this time with an Ana, so trying to get probably those biotics on the high ground and giving Alpha a bit of an advantage.
And how quickly Doha has to translocate, a bit of an issue, but this is going to be a fight pretty quick now for Ian.
Yeah, O2 Blast keeping them at bay, it seems. They did just give them a lot of space. Oh, Alpha did get stunned. He's dealt with Kaiser coming out of nowhere. He has slept. I don't think Element Mystic can react off of that, but they can at least breathe a little bit.
Alright, well, Ian, they still have Doha alive, and that's really important because he's got the EMP still, but they lost Alpha again, so actually contesting the point's going to be very good.
Well, Kaiser's way farther ahead on the Shatter game, of course, because Alpha died early, so dropping down, this could be something they're working towards, but can they survive EMP from Doha? It drops it down, O2 Blast, every single one was hit. Nombo couldn't even get that Transcendence early enough to contest that, so free fight win for Element Mystic.
And what you actually saw on, okay, the kind of skirmish that Element Mystic lost just previously, they lose Alpha in that one as well, is, I don't know, uncharacteristically in a way, they kind of take a super early fight for a Sombra Ghost team. That's not a normal thing, but at the same time, because they went for the skirmish early, they got Doha a lot of EMP charge. That actually got him that EMP to win that fight afterwards, which was a pretty good play.
Element Mystic, now can they make another good play happen? They have the grab this time to work with, but the Nano was given to Alpha. He doesn't want to play too aggressive, not going to play the chase game. Rotates around, meets them there. So Kaiser with the Shatter now. Can he catch Alpha off guard? Because, or maybe the grab can come out first from Sparkle. O2 Blast taking their time.
And O2 Blast can because they just waited out the Nano boost. It's fine. Now they're just going to see, okay, where does this grab come from? Because they don't quite have one yet. They do have a Transcendence.
Yeah, that first grab comes out from Element Mystic, countered by the Transcendence, as you said.
Huge Fire Nade, by the way.
Yeah, but O2 Blast still, they lost Krong's mech, so Element Mystic, it's their time to fight back. Doha could just farm another EMP. Free take for O2 Blast, they're still holding on. The grab was thrown for proper, great counter shatter from Alpha, stopping them from following up with that. But despite that, Element Mystic have lost control of the point. It seems now with an EMP from Doha, they can fight back, but Mondu answers back with the barrier, so O2 Blast taking a half. Starting to fight back, taking care of only a break now. Can they follow up with more? Krong doesn't have, now just got the mech back. Kaiser is hacked. This is a very chaotic fight. Sparkle with the grab, it's great. It catches a few, but O2 Blast are still alive.
They just need to see more done. They had a decent setup and Alpha even landed his Shatter, but O2 Blast, too many members still alive. Doha's feeling like, okay, I need to use EMP here. Uses that one, but doesn't quite get enough kills out of it. The Element Mystic are not able to get these nice counter trades. Sparkle finally gets Graviton Surge. Comes a little bit too late as well. He just didn't quite have that ult charger. That could have been a reset. In many ways, it probably should have been a reset, considering how much Element Mystic actually landed. The problem is they didn't get the kills.
And Doha's farming yet another. He is not scared of proper until Mondu disrespected the 1v1, and maybe he should have translocated it out earlier. Despite that, O2 Blast can now get so much free space after that pick of not only the Sombra, but Alpha as well.
This is where Element Mystic, okay, they can give up a bit of space, they trade that for EMP charge. Probably could have stayed alive, I'll probably agree on that one as well, but Element Mystic, this is necessary now to get an EMP to actually get a defensible position, because you can see if they lose this one, they probably lose the camp as well. So God, it's getting dangerously close.
The grab first from Proper finishes up the fight before Element Mystic could do a cool EMP Shadow play. But they could have maybe one last contest, but O2 Blast are looking for more staggers, and maybe this can stop Element Mystic from contesting.
And they can push up, right? Because they look at all these ultimates they have. They have the Earth Shatter as well. Element Mystic still just waiting for the same combo. It's on that EMP Shatter, but they're not going to get there in time for beats. So really quick take for O2.
Yeah, I like how aggressive they're playing, and now it's going to be EMP Shatter, like you said, from Element Mystic, but O2 Blast have the Transcendence. You can see Myungbong is playing that far back for a reason.
And you gotta see if EM can maybe pick up a couple of kills before the Transcendence can really save anyone. Doha's really choked out.
Krong, double self-destruct, it's spicy. Don't even watch it, they still went for the EMP play. But despite that, O2 Blast is still getting some free space, and they're getting some stagger kills.
That's a lot of the setup that's going quite wrong for EM because they want to go for this EMP, they want to go for the Shatter. O2 get a lot of damage and go, feels pressure, uses the EMP. There's no Shatter follow-up, O2 Blast go in much quicker, they get the double kill on the self-destruct. And in terms of initiative, in terms of tempo, it's been in their favor for most of this game, over on Temple of Anubis as well. That just hasn't changed even though we've gone on top.
With no support ultimates for O2, that grab is coming from Sparkle, but maybe want to wait until this card advances. They actually have the defensive position. They have the advantageous part of the map.
Unique shot down.
Oh, there's the grab from Sparkle. Perfect, but Bandu was ready with the barrier. O2 Blast now gaining the space. Transcendence to fight back from NCD, trying to stabilize this team. Alpha can go for a Shatter. O2 Blast are so spread out, and they're so low too. Proper's still gonna go for a grab despite his team being so incredibly low. They're panicking. Kaiser couldn't even swing into that grab. He had to keep his shield up. EMP in response from Doha will stop this fight from progressing, and O2 Blast will leave this payload.
And the only reason that O2 Blast can now walk away somewhat happy with this one is because they got all the ultimates away. They got everything outside the grab, which Sparkle's about to have again. But for Doha, okay, using that EMP is going to be somewhat costly because you wanted to save that one for that next defense. And for O2, if they stay alive long enough, yes, they had to use some more ults themselves, but get the EMP out of it. Now they push them with their Shadow. Now they push them with their Transcendence, and things look pretty good because the card positioning is also really far up.
It's spy check, catching Doha. You won't be farming today, boy. O2 Blast getting back to the cart. And like you said, they've used everything. Thought that last fight was winnable. The Shatter could be big. If you can catch even one support, even a Zarya, you will take that solo Shatter every day, twice on Sundays. Youngbum has a Transcendence, has to use it now for this grab. Element Mystic feeding everything they can into it, and they will convert that into at least a pick. O2 Blast without their Lucio, no speed, but to take care of the main DPS damage provider for Element Mystic. Now no frontline for the defense. O2 Blast can finish it here.
And O2 Blast, they have all the damage. Element Mystic, they tried to put Sparkle in there. He got chunked out super early. Now they're just trying to stagger this one for as long as possible. Doha now trying to get this next
Pelican just slapped Doha into another existence as he came for maybe a one last saving grace. He was so close to EMP too, but O2 Blast taking that fight, and they do finish with time.
I think EM had the right idea, right? Because they know they have grab. This is somewhat of an advantage for them. There is a Transcendence on the other side, but you have Sparkle going in. He goes in quite aggressively, but because he loses too much HP, he has to back out, and there just isn't enough damage to follow up. And this is that very important now double kill for Krong that also gave them that initial push on.
Yeah, O2 Blast seem to be pretty looking decent so far. Now the defense will be coming up, and it seems like they were pretty good at countering the EMPs and the grabs. Element Mystic, do they stick to the 3-2-1? I don't think we've really seen them do much of the vanilla 3-3.
Well, that's the thing is they haven't really played anything else, so I don't know if they've practiced it, and if they have, do you need to swap Doha out for that? Do you need to change positions? Do you need to bring, I don't know, Exi in or something like that? You got to bring something off the bench, because so far, one of the key tells for Element Mystic in terms of what's going kind of wrong or where they're kind of losing is if you notice that, okay, the EMPs are being forced to be used in a time and a place where really Element Mystic should have won with their other ultimates, or really they should have won a fight already, but they failed to clean up different picks, and so Go was like, well, we have to use the EMP now or we don't win the fight, or they use an EMP and they actually don't win the fight off that. If either of those two things happen, or a combination thereof, that's really bad for Element Mystic, and for a Sombra Ghost team, you really can't afford for those situations to be happening.
Okay, on this high ground, O2 Blast will get to choose when they want to engage. Now Element Mystic with the 3-2-1 as usual. Do they go through security or do they go through the left?
And I think no matter where they go, O2 should be very, very quick on responding. They will be looking for an early fight here. And if Element Mystic can get a clean rotation around, that'll already be a good start for them, but really not what we were expecting because O2 should be on top of it.
Yeah, initial hack on the Krong to get some ult charge for Doha, but just trying to identify maybe a loose target, someone isolated away. Hey, maybe Krong, that would be great. Get that EMP as quick as possible because Element Mystic will need it.
The only thing they can do while they're waiting is, okay, charge this EMP. We're not ready to rotate just yet. They're now starting to take this high ground away from O2, so giving them some more space to play with as they get towards this point. And 57 to go.
Okay, now it's quite a slow approach, but working towards those ultimates. Don't want to waste any time, and also trying to protect themselves and not feed too much ult charge. You can see not really anyone is close to anything except the EMP from Doha.
And the only problem, the big problem here rather, is that it's been taking quite a while. We're over 1 minute now. We haven't really seen a fight yet. We are waiting for EMP, and in a way, that should be, you know, that should be a 5-1 for Element Mystic. O2 Blast now also have a Transcendence available. Translocator's gone.
There he's like, I'm at 99. I got it, guys. O2 Blast are ready for it. They have the Transcendence. Wait, he maybe didn't spot where Myung was. He hesitated.
He actually got the Transcendence, however, that was a huge play from Element Mystic. Now they can push back in. EMP on the ready. Mandrew doesn't quite have a sound barrier.
Oh, there's the EMP from Doha. Perfect timing. So smart to wait for that Transcendence. To bait it with the Translocator. Mandu wasn't ready with the barrier, but Element Mystic with the that was O2 Blast's Graviton. Sparkle still has his. Now he's gonna throw it up into the skies. O2 Blast are trapped. Element Mystic still have a tick. Still in a winnable position. Just have to clean things up for O2 Blast. And they can move forward.
You see how many members that Element Mystic lose despite kind of winning this fight, and they have the right idea to begin with. They were just baiting with the Translocator, threw it in twice, didn't go in, third time goes in, and Myungbong's like, this is probably the EMP now, ends up using his Transcendence, but O2 Blast, despite kind of losing that ultimate very quickly, they still got so many good trades that you can imagine that if, you know, off the sound barrier, they got a few more from Element Mystic, they would have probably won that, or at least they would have got a lot more ultimates. And in that time, what's interesting is Doha has another EMP, which is what you'd expect out of him if he's doing well.
For sure. He's gonna be, well, I thought he'd be on the high ground. You could see a lot of Element Mystic trying to get that extra damage. Oh, he's in the backline, and he assassinated Myungbong, maybe just in case he had Transcendence. MCD uses his Transcendence, and now Element Mystic could actually win this fight cleanly without an EMP, and that's best case scenario.
That's an E. You see the tempo Transcendence from MCD as well. They don't want to lose any members here. Alpha got dangerously low. There's nothing you really need to counter at the time being. Graviton Surge not quite online. Kaiser was kind of pressured out anyway. Unlikely to see the Earth Shatter come through. And there's still a decent amount of weapons online for Element Mystic. So now this is going to be a fairly decent push. It's taking them a while to get A, but now onto B, things are looking much better.
On that high ground, Spicy, he's got Myungbong in his sights. Words are hard, but that Transcendence is going to be key. He's going to go for the assassination. Maybe he has to wait out Krong self-destruct. Goes for the EMP and now does not go for it because Unique got by that self-destruct. So going to wait this one out.
There's two things you can see here. Is one, for Element Mystic, they're seeing is there a play that we can make here, and the second is if O2 Blast want to go in early, Element Mystic will be somewhat okay with just backing out, holding on to what is soon to be 5 ultimates. But also you got to respect that O2 Blast and the tempo that they're putting on the game in terms of, okay, what kind of pace do we want for these fights? We have a self-destruct. We know Doha's somewhere. We're going to take initiative away. We're just going to go in early. If we self-destruct in, he's not going to hit.
Well, this high ground advantage is going to be big, especially, you know, Proper getting that extra damage. He's got grab. He doesn't need any more ult charge. The Element Mystic, now they don't get to choose when they can take this fight. It's when O2 Blast are ready. EMP drop from Doha. O2 Blast already in pain. No Kaiser means no fight for O2.
Oh, they got 2, but the 2 that they needed, I guess, and with that, the rest of the members are going to get cleaned up, and this could have also been quite an expensive fight for Element Mystic, where if the EMP is, you know, and it didn't really get enough, but they got the members, if they didn't get those members, or they couldn't really convert onto anything, they would have had to overspend on all their other ultimates, and that would have put them in a really nasty spot. Now, we're going to see
nowhere. Just Proper going for an early grab already. And the spawns are so close that I think Element Mystic are fine with that.
There's no counter for the Transcendence. Honestly, I think in terms of, again, the T word here, tempo, they probably would have wanted Transcendence to maintain pressure on this card, because every time they get reset, they're losing more and more time. They do want to finish this one. They got about 3 minutes remaining, and they have one really bad fight here. Their 3 minutes can disappear.
Oh, Kaiser tried to go for a shatter, but Element Mystic do not budge. They've lost, well, they might budge because they lost their Transcendence provider. They've lost their Zenyatta. Element Mystic are just stuck in spawn. Look how they're getting actually cornered from O2. This is pure dominance.
I think for Element Mystic, they are still giving these fights away. They still don't want to commit ultimates yet. They're still waiting to just absorb as much as they can. But again, you have to look at this time, because this is what you're actually trading. You're trading another 35 seconds for this play to save your ultimates. Eventually, you do have to use this. Eventually, you do have to cash in.
Yeah, wrong self-destruct, shatter, EMP. Holy cow, Element Mystic want to get this card going. They spend so much time in spawn, and finally they can move. O2 Blast now kind of stuck in a corner. They actually might get staggered even more. Element Mystic missing a Rhyme, but so they might not push up after this fight is over, but they got a lot of ultimates coming up for the final fight.
That was nearly potentially bad because you saw the Krong self-destruct coming in, and Alpha has to spend the initial part of the EMP just kind of blocking that one. So the damage nearly didn't come in fast enough for Element Mystic, but they got there, they still have a grab, and they finally starting to push. But at 140, they can't afford too many more mistakes here. They have to make sure they can continue.
Final fight coming up, minute 30, Element Mystic, EMP grab, what are you gonna choose? There's only a barrier standing in your way. You need to clean this one up before proper grabs, and he gets it, counter grabs as Sparkle throws out his EMP thrown out from Doha, Unique sustains with the barrier Monjuice. I think barrier might have gotten canceled, but lots of colors on the screen. Element Mystic still pushing this cart to that VIP parking lot. O2 Blast, is there anyone there to stop it? Monju taken out from the skies. That will be it. Element Mystic finish with time.
Early pressure onto Sparkle there. You saw the HP drop low, but doesn't dissuade him from dropping the Graviton Surge. And as the sound barrier comes in to counter that one, the only support ultimate, the only real counter that O2 have, it gets cancelled out by the EMP. So really interesting little kind of back and forth in terms of those two ultimates in play, because really you want to save the sound barrier for when the EMP comes down, but the grab forces your hand. Can't do much about that.
Yeah, that was... Did Monju's barrier get cancelled? I don't remember.
It did, by the EMP.
It did, so that's...
So he dropped it, and then all the shields went away.
Oof. Yeah, I needed that extra explanation. But 107 to 108, it is a close time bank. I mean,
well, the other way you could cancel it is he's mid-animation, he doesn't even get it off. Like that's just slightly call away, but I think so there's actually only 1 second difference between the two pushes, and I think what's really interesting is how we got here, because O2 Blast had the smoothest smoothest A to B transition, and then going over to C. B just wasn't any defense from EM, but then Element Mystic took much longer to get through B. They took a while. They, even at the start of C, they in a way chose to lose many fights in a row where they actually had ultimate advantage for a long time. And I don't know, philosophically for me, I don't necessarily know that holding on to those ults in that kind of way is really good, because you could be spending that time recharging after winning fights. But
Doha just in their face like that, though.
he only hits 3-4%, so I think he's lucky to not die, because if he eats a shield bash, he's actually dead. So
that would have been very unlucky. I think he even ate that shot from the Widowmaker that one time, but hey, confidence is true, but Sparkle just got cornered while the rest of his team was like, hey, you're dead, bye, we're going to point. And they're going to try and buy some time.
They made the same play again, where they drop Alpha in there, he drops super low, shield pack's used on him, Sparkle's the next target, and now they're fighting 5v6.
Oh boy, there's that first tick for O2 Blast. Make it a second. I don't think Element Mystic can contest, and with so little time like that, hey, that's kind of great that you did that.
Such a dangerous play for EM, where they want to get aggressive. They're thinking last time it sort of worked, but at what cost? Because it constantly loses them a member to play aggressively on O2 Blast rotation, and they don't have the same kind of fighting power right off the bat. So, I mean, they get punished for it pretty heavily here, losing a super quick, and Nano's in place soon though.
Nano from MCD, Element Mystic trying to assert their dominance, and they're gonna do that with the Shatter O2 Blast in overtime. That was their last chance to extend this payload as much as they could. And look, they had Transcendence, they were hacked out of it, can't do anything more. Hey, maybe trying to contest it one last time. Spawns are close, but this is pretty much done. At least O2 Blast did get the point.
And that's really important, because with about a minute, you're not usually expected to get a point. Where if you lose one fight, the other team starts to kind of snowball. You're in a lot of trouble as an attacking team. You only have one more shot left. And the fact that now you have a Hollywood attack where O2 have consistently twice over, they've gotten in one attempt, or one-ish attempt, we'll say for the first one, but this time around much cleaner, where for Element Mystic, you don't know if they're going to get this in 108. If you remember what they did on their attack, they took a long time to kind of get set up on the high ground, to get Doha on a flank, to get some damage in, waiting for this EMP. That took like 1.5 to 2 minutes just to do that, and then they did this kind of baity translocate play to get the Transcendence out of Myeongbong. I just don't know that this is going to happen again for Element Mystic the way they want to. Time is not on their side, and that's a big problem for them.
But it seems like you have to defend like this point, like... That's it, because that card really didn't go anywhere, so losing the point fight could be deadly. Because we haven't seen, I think, throughout this Hollywood that any fight's taking place at that doorway.
And I'm just wanting to see how Element Mystic are going to pick up the pace, because Waiting for Doha as the win condition is probably not going to be good enough this time around. I think O2 can play super patient as well, and they don't have to do too much early. They just wait to see what Element Mystic want to do, and before you know it, 1 minute will be long and gone.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Element Mystic with Alpha leading the charge. And Doha's going to be looking to build that EMP. O2 Blast on the high ground. Element Mystic choosing left or right. Flip a coin. And they're taking their time because, Alpha did take a bit of damage, and so did Sparkle, using their cooldowns early too.
You can see they're trying to push left, but they just keep eating a bit of damage, and now their HP is slightly good enough. They get intercepted.
Yeah, that's rough. I think that happened even last time too. Sparkle got cornered away from the rest of the team. O2 Blast seemed really good at isolating people like that.
Well, actually, last time they were able to push up left, and that's how they took the high ground, and O2 didn't quite contest as well because Doha was being really annoying in the backline. Doha's going to reset himself as well here. Whether that was on purpose or not, I'm not too sure on that one, but at 44% and about less than 20 seconds remaining, it's probably not looking too great. He has to live for a long time here to look.
Oh yeah, not close to EMP. Is so rough. Element Mystic though. See if they can get just a vanilla hack. Anything. A miracle even. Seconds remain. Element Mystic need to get this point or they're going to lose 2 consecutive maps.
Gone.
Are you kidding me? O2 Blast. Making a comeback.
O2 Blast, far more dominant on both Temple of Anubis and also Hollywood here, and again, it all comes down to a lot of timing. Here's that early engage from O2 Blast again, and this is that one fight you're quote-unquote allowed to lose, but even though you lose it right towards the end, you can see how much they're putting into Doha here. He even receives the Zarya bubble as well, trying to get anything done in terms of getting this EMP, and they're just saying, okay, wait till the last second. They literally waited until the last second. They tried to touch the point right at the end. Unique tries to step on, but it's all too late. They just were not willing to really go in. They were not willing to fight yet. They need like 2 minutes at least, and they only had 1.
Well, maybe Element Mystic are allergic to points or something. We've got Havana. It's an escort map. We'll see if Element Mystic can force a game 5 or if O2 Blast are going to finish it out here. We'll see you guys soon. It's map 4 time. Havana will be coming up. O2 Blast still leading the way 2-1 after 2 consecutive maps over Element Mystic.
I do think Havana coming up is going to be a better map for Element Mystic just because of like they're sticking on to the Sombra type of gameplay, which I expect them to. Havana is a much more open map, a lot of high ground to abuse here. I think Doha is going to have a much better game overall across the entire. That being said, we are now relying on Element Mystic to get 1 map and then take us to a map 5 and go to a tiebreaker, which would already be, I think, the closest O2 Blast have ever come to beating Element Mystic. In fact, I don't know if O2 Blast have even led a series against Element Mystic yet, so that might even be a first at the current moment, which is again a huge deal for them.
As you can see, going to map 4, yeah, it's their last chance to see if Element Mystic. I mean, yeah, the grand final was 4-0 and showdown 4-2, and UCAS that I don't know. It's kind of would be the first time O2 Blast have beaten Element Mystic in quite some time, if this would be the case.
They've never beaten Element Mystic, so it'll be the first time. I'm pretty sure it is also the first time they're leading them in a series, taking them to a match. And I think, look, the grand finals of PAX Showdown was pretty competitive, but it never felt like Element Mystic were going to lose that series. Where, yeah, like you see Temple of Anubis, you see Hollywood, and you start to really believe, okay, Element Mystic now are the ones seriously far behind, not just in terms of 2-1 being the scoreline, but in terms of how it feels and how it looks in terms of team strengths. They look a little bit weaker than O2.
And with the introduction of Showdown and now Gauntlet, I mean, doing well in the regular season now means so much more. The top 3 of the regular season of Korea will go to Gauntlet with those 3 spots. So O2 Blast and Element Mystic, you definitely have to keep your eye on them.
The other thing which as we see them pick the heroes, if MCD goes on to Ana again, which he's been playing, I'm pretty sure the whole series, that's another really interesting point because usually versus a diva, you're going to be playing Zen instead of Ana, but he's been kind of forcing this Ana, and I think in the current meta, Ana is coming in a little bit, but at the same time, the reason for that is a lot of divas are not playing the diva, they're playing other things like Sombras and whatever other picks that people go on for, Bunker and all sorts. So the fact that he's still playing an Ana into a diva is going to be quite interesting, but Flora is actually in Overcross this time.
I'm excited. I totally forgot Flora joined O2 Blast. This was, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago that it was announced, leaving WGS, and this was the Sombra player they worked around. So very young player, and I'm excited for that.
They're just taking all the WGS members, and by the way, what I said about D.Va, that applies when there's a D.Va, but there's no D.Va now.
Oh, Doha, the second time he's gotten picked like that.
Pelicans just got his number. Pelicans got this 1v1 assignment where he says, I'm going to be the one looking up for Doha every time. O2 Blast now, they're going to be playing this type of anti-Sombra, which is playing the Hanzo instead. And last season we saw Krong being in this position where he plays the Hanzo versus Doha Sombra, and that worked reasonably okay. They didn't quite win, but we'll see if Flora can make the win that happen.
I felt like last season Flora almost only played Sombra, so to see him on the Hanzo, kind of like Krong did, like you said, is pretty exciting, replacing that role. So trying to go forward, Flora's finding some angles onto this high ground, but eventually Alpha Shield is going to break.
And you just don't have a contest yet. This is probably one of the key places to try and contest, and the card is already around this corner. Element Mystic running out of time.
Yeah, it's Alpha just under fire. He got stunned, bursted, easy cleanup. O2 Blast also got a lot of free distance, so Element Mystic won't be able to recon.
And this is like the same as what had happened on Temple of Anubis, where Pelican got the early snipe headshot onto Doha as he's trying to farm EMP. Because that happens again, Element Mystic's entire early defense is just completely wrong. They don't have anything they can really do with 5 members, so they hang out, they chill back, and Doha's far too behind. He's trailing on EMP charge, and then by the time they're trying to get ready to go, the card is just going to be forcing their hand down. Now we're on to B, and O2 Blast, pretty similar to what we saw in the last 2 maps.
Okay, first pick, lucky fire strike. The defense, I was just about to say, have an advantageous position on this high ground. Now without Sparkle, they definitely want to give up some space. You could see O2 Blast taking over that high ground and looking for some shots with Flora.
And it just keeps happening. They just, Element Mystic keep losing a member early. They can never find the 6v6, and yes, Doha is about to have this EMP, but where will this card be when they're ready to fight? That's the big question.
And especially with Flora having the Dragon Strike, getting closer to the grab too. They can do the Graviton combo if they need it, but can they survive the EMP coming up? The Nano is going to try and win them the fight from MCD to Alpha with love, sending O2 Blast back, all the way back. You see Kaiser's trying to get away.
This is big because Doha doesn't have to use the EMP yet. They get the opening pick, a bit of a change of like, you look at the other side of the hand now, other side of the coin, where O2 Blast actually lose a member quite early, but card positioning is important as well. They got past that bridge section, that is where a lot of these contests happen, onto Havana and Element Mystic. Now need to try and hold quite forward because, you know, again, the objective pressure is going to be quite big.
Yeah, losing Sparkle early was bad, but at least they survived for now. Thanks to that Nano. Now the EMP from O2 Blast. Melon also got hacked. No Transcendence to save them. They just funneled through and got annihilated. So now Element Mystic can take that one and then rely on the grab next.
EM need a couple more. Yep, they do get that. So 4. If they only got 2 kills off an EMP, you don't really rate it. They get 4. That's much more acceptable, especially now that we're getting Sparkle back online for the grab. You have a huge string of ultimates online for O2 Blast as well, so looking to be a pretty huge push for them.
O2 Blast, Graviton, Dragon Strike in a fight for that high ground. Element Mystic don't have any support ultimates. Maybe the barrier, but the grab is already going to be thrown out from proper. Dragon Strike is perfectly placed. Takes care of Element Mystic. Now they can get this car going, but do Element Mystic have maybe one last contest? We'll see if they can get back quick enough.
And honestly, O2 Blast didn't even care. They had their Transcendence gone, both grabs went out there, the confidence was available for O2 Blast with that game. They had the Grab Dragon combo. Element Mystic, they don't really have a combo, they just have a Graviton Surge, so O2 Blast now holding on to what is going to be double support ultimates walking into this. MCD will have a Nano, but you don't quite rate that over the sound area and the Transcendence.
One last contest, Element Mystic. Maybe have a Nano from MCD. I mean, this is what won them one of those fights. You don't even need an EMP or a grab, but O2 Blast giving up that free space just for the moment, looking to take it back once the opportunity is there as Alpha gets ready for the shatter.
EM has to kind of delay here because they need this EMP until it's so close. He's low though.
Oh no, but the Nano from Alpha is just going to ward O2 Blast away, and maybe not converting kills because Transcendence from Young Bum is there, but Element Mystic can now work on this EMP.
Where's Mandu? Because he now has to be the one to defend against the EMP. Doha wants to go in, looking for targets.
Oh, got it. Oh, didn't get Mandu though, so perfect barrier. They did lose to Mountain Ground, a little bit less healing. Alpha doesn't care, shatters them to oblivion. O2 Blast still maybe a winnable fight because their main tank at least stayed alive, but Element Mystic now are hit by a grab from Proper, who just wanted to clean things up a little quicker.
And Element Mystic didn't get enough kills there. We're about to hit in to see the EMP does drop down. They get one kill, instantly traded onto MCD. That's honestly not going to be good enough because they needed that one player advantage. It's instantly a 5v5. O2 Blast still have a grab dragon combo they could have used. Just use the grab portion of that. Still have the Dragon Strike available as we hit onto the C point. And for Element, they're going to be looking for their next few ultimates here. They will have grab again. They will have EMP pretty soon, but very costly defense to lose big.
And with this Hanzo, this hasn't forced Element Mystic off of the Sombra. So there's nothing to stop, well, I was gonna say a Graviton Dragon Strike, but he goes for just a vanilla one to maybe get himself back on par with the ult economy. O2 Blast gets some space, Kaiser is hacked, so they're not gonna play too aggressive, but Element Mystic lost their main tank player, so the grab EMP is not something they want to go for.
And they gotta wait for respawners here. The card positioning is slowly creeping up, but they want to also fight in an enclosed space. Probably good for a Sombra-based team to not want to play, really play your hand out until you get to this final area where this EMP can be far more useful, but it does just mean you're going to give up a lot of this point for free.
And Floor is up onto the top left. He could have found some picks. He's still contesting up there. Sparkle is going to be coming out of that corner, maybe with a grab, but that hand will be played as Element Mystic drop down to here to tango. And the grab EMP, when will it be launched? Translocator out. Doha tries to bait some support ults, does get that rally out, but there's nothing that could stop this EMP.
There's actually no support ult, so he's not going to be baiting anything out. He's going to find a few though, 5.
That's perfect, good enough, and maybe he thought they were close to support ults, made sure that there was nothing. Easy, clean fight, win, didn't have to use the grab too.
3 resets though, so ultimately they didn't quite get enough charge off it in terms of charging up their next ring of ultimates for themselves, because a lot of members for O2 absorbed the EMP, then just walked off the edge of the map. So it's still not a really pretty sight for EM yet, because they have to play up against no grab dragons. They don't have any support ultimates for that. They have just an outer boost, which you can save alpha with, but probably no one else. How they position now to try and split their members away from the grab is going to be important for EM.
O2 Blast approach, Graviton Dragon Strike could seal the deal, less than a minute, and Element Mystic want to force overtime if they can, or just take some time off this clock, but here, Graviton at the ready, the nano's given though, from MCD to Alpha, see if he can hold this, the Graviton's force from Proper, and the Dragon strikes right through, it's perfect, O2 Blast hit with an anti, but Mondu's barrier was actually big, it saves them, keeps them healthy, EMP from Doha isn't much because no one can follow along with it, and O2 Blast about to finish the map.
EM played that nearly as well as they could have. I mean, they had the right kind of spacing. They put the nano into alpha. He baits the Graviton Surge in a way. You can see from Proper's POV, he's thinking, how do I get the most amount of members here? What can I really do? Thinks he can maybe get 2, gets only 1. The Dragon Strike does go into alpha. They get that kill, but the EMP coming in as a bit of a counterplay from Element Mystic eventually doesn't get counted out this time by Mandu, dropping his own sound barrier. And this was that opening pick also onto Doha that really ruined a lot of Element Mystic's opening setup onto A. You can imagine that if he survives there, he's allowed to flank around the back a lot more and then get a lot more damage in. Element Mystic might have an EMP, but by the time the card is roughly around that final corner as they approach the end of A, and that's when Element Mystic want to really hold them. A lot of this game you can see so far, it just comes down to where and when the Element Mystic want to fight, and are they ready to fight now?
Element Mystic had a bit of a strange defense where they were on the high ground, and you mentioned they just never had an opportunity to drop down because of the Hanzo arrows just wounding their Rhine shield so much. So they only had one fight on point A, where realistically you should be able to force 2, but only 24 seconds, not the most humongous time bank, so we'll see if Element Mystic can do better. At
the same time though, it's huge in the way that a lot of teams don't cap C. Havana is a very difficult point to complete, mostly because you look at B. B is where you lose all your time. A lot of teams will reach the overtime onto B, and whether then you cap or not is another story, depending on how good the defense and how good the offense is. But the point being here is that it takes away so much time that most teams will not get to a time bank here. For Element Mystic, that's very likely a reality for them, and if that happens, this is going to be a 1-in-3 series. Element Mystic are going to be in a really tough spot. Doha is actually not on the Sombra for once, which is really surprising.
It's like they traded comms, because Floor was on the Hanzo against the Sombra, and now it's the same thing. Doha wants to maybe force them away from the Sombra.
I think this is because Doha understands it's much more difficult to play offensive Sombra than defensive Sombra here, at least with the opening points, so he's going to play something that can maybe at least challenge the kind of 3-2-1 comp that O2 Blast has, and Hamzah's got the right kind of damage.
Yeah, breaking down the Rhine Shield. The Rhine Shield battle also equally as important in that neutral fight as Element Mystic getting free distance. If O2 Blast don't start contesting, they lose this fight. That'll be point A right there.
And O2's failing in the same way that EM was on this defense. They haven't contested yet. They don't have EMP yet. They don't have anything to contest with. And Element Mystic know this. They're forcing the pacing of the game, and they're just pushing forward.
Flora
as they back out, okay.
Yeah, but
wow.
Finally they got that one lucky pick, and Flora getting a bit closer to that EMP means they could be in the driver's seat, but I thought Element Mystic had that.
That was a really weird fight because Element Mystic did have that. O2 Blast was losing so much space, and then eventually Element Mystic couldn't quite find a target. They maybe didn't think they had, they couldn't quite put enough damage onto any members to secure a 6v5, because this is where if they did get a pick, they'd be in a great spot. The problem now is, because O2 Blast have won that fight, they do have EMP. They've now achieved what Element Mystic could not do at this exact point on the map, on their own defense.
It's surprising that Sparkle's so far behind on the grab game, so if they want to use the Graviton Dragon Strike, it's just not available for quite some time. EMP from O2 Blast, there it is, drops it down, but MCD counters with the Transcendence. Element Mystic now just missing in action with their main tank player missing. That's a lost and done fight, but at least Sparkle can try and get a grab going. Proper so far ahead.
They're gonna wait for respawners here. Element Mystic are lucky to not lose any other members. That nearly could have been 2. I guess that's the good news, right, is that you have an EMP. We mentioned this earlier, but you know, 1 kill definitely not gonna be enough for the time being.
Proper looks to maybe go to the high ground, just have uncontested damage, try to get a free angle with this Graviton. Probably knows, not really any support ultimates to contest, maybe Unique's barrier, but it's not in time. Graviton clears the fight again.
We have to keep looking back at this clock because this is what's going to tell us how the game is going to go. It's roughly 36 now, I believe, for Element Mystic, and we talk about them needing to complete this map, right? They have to get all 3 points. It's quite a difficult thing to do because they don't even have a lot of time going into B. You need decent time on B just to push through that one. And then even if they can do that, they need to be able to finish C somehow. And obviously, based on this timing available, they're way behind Puck.
Hey, Element Mystic though, they might just maybe have a Graviton Dragon Strike. That's gotta be the fight sealer for them. O2 Blast, Barrier, and Transcendence. Can they survive as they give up a lot of free space? They try and spread out to avoid this Graviton, but can they really avoid this loss? It's gonna be tough. Element Mystic don't have much time.
Dollar's headed down, so I mean, even the win condition there, the shadow from Kaiser.
Oh, it gets a few down, just enough to protect them, buy them some time with 2 down, and Alpha consistently being dead first in the fight. So much pressure. O2 Blast and holding his defense.
It's an absolute disaster because Sparkle's also now used the Graviton Surge, so where is that combo going to come from? Doha's like, forget the Dragon Strike, let me go back to Old Faithful here. It's going to be back onto the Sombra for him. There is double support ultimates available for Mando and Youngvog anyway, so unlikely for the Dragon Strike to really do the damage necessary. Forget capping C, I don't even know if they're going to cap it.
But this has to be MCD Unique. Need to put their team on. Oh, you can see he's hiding. Flora found him. And he's like, oh god, there's a Sombra. I need to use Transcendence. Flora's just gonna wait it out. Now, can Unique stay hidden? The answer is yes. He got that barrier out, but Alpha again dead immediately as the fight starts. The Graviton thrown after with Proper. O2 Blast. Seconds away from having their first victory over Element Mystic, getting their revenge from Showdown, from the Grand Finals last season. O2 Blast shut this one down.
What they couldn't do 3 times in a row, they're going to be able to do today. Sparkle finally gets a jump on the Doom, but the only thing he can do is watch that time go down. O2 Blast 3-1 in this series. They completely, Busan aside, but the first map aside, for the other 3 in a row, you look at Temple of News, you look at Hollywood, Havana included, this was all O2 Blast.
I can't believe the turnaround, the actual 3-map clap back from forcing, now Flora coming into the picture, proving that he can contest, go toe-to-toe with someone like Doha.
What's I guess smart for O2 is they have someone like Flora that is going to be able to play both Sombra and in this case specifically Hanzo as well on that part of the map. They obviously are not looking at Krong to be able to play Sombra, to be Sombra heavy map, which is why it's surprising that Element Mystic did so poorly considering that the should have been their map. This should have been the Sombra map that brings them back in the series. It takes us back into control, and then maybe there we see the 3-2 for Element Mystic, like they had that opening map when on control as well. So that was the game plan, and for that to fall apart here, now it feels like you really beat Element Mystic because you also beat them on a map they should have won.
And you beat them at what they're good at. That Sombra 3-2-1 by mostly playing 3-3, eventually forcing out a Hamzah Sombra stuff on Havana. But their first, Element Mystic's first loss in Contenders is going to go to O2 Blast in week 2. So yes, they will be 1-1. But hey, what a great way to start out the season.
Especially for O2 Blast, and getting revenge always feels really good. I know Kaiser wasn't really too happy about the results at Pacific Showdown. He really felt they should have been able to beat Element Mystic, and you even had a meta where Doomfist was slightly better. Now you're not seeing Sparkle on that at all. Maybe that is a true fall of Element Mystic, where beforehand, we look at last season, they got a lot of Doomfist and Sombra in combination